Hi there. So, in this video, we are going to talk about beginner grammar mistakes, and I'm recording this to help you figure out a lot of the grammar lessons before you do most of the activities. If you're watching this video and you're enrolled in our English lessons, please click the link below this video because there is a an updated list for this page, and if you haven't enrolled in our English lessons, consider doing so. Consider sending us a message. On the best way to reach us would be on our Facebook page, or you can send an email to kevin@callcentertrainingtips.com. There's a link in the description. So yeah, let's go. So yeah, if you're watching this, you've probably already completed activity 1 and activity 2. So you're probably curious if you sent the correct answers. And I'm going to share the most common mistakes. And I want you to use this page as reference. So let me just go here. And and yeah, by the way, you can just read through some of these. Wait, let me just make this bigger real quick. Let me just make this bigger. Okay, so you can just use this page. So the link to this page is just below, and you can become 100 times better at communicating by fixing the mistakes specified on this page. So we already discussed the one sentence paragraph format. We already discussed the shortening your sentences. So in this video, we are going to answer the following questions. So the first question is, should I give my full name or nickname during introductions? The next question we're going to answer is, why should I avoid vague or unspecific answers? The next would be, why should I avoid super short answers? The next question we're going to answer is, what are the most common grammar errors? And then we're going to discuss what's a sentence. We're going to discuss the mistakes that adults still make when writing sentences. We're also going to discuss how do I know if my sentence is complete. And then we're going to discuss how can I become a better communicator and why should I shorten my sentences. What are the wrong ways to begin my sentences and what are unnecessary words in a sentence. So these are the topics that we're going to discuss in this video. So let's get at it. So the first question, if the interviewer gives his full name, you should introduce yourself with your full name. So if the interviewer gives you his first name, you should use your first name or nickname. So usually when you're introducing yourself to the interviewer, I hear this a lot. My name is Juan Carlo Antonio Miguel Lopez. Like, yeah, full name. And you can call me Carlo for short. Like, I hear this style of answering a lot. This is a bad answer. I'm gonna tell you right now. This is a bad answer. So the good answer is, my name is Carlo. So when the interviewer introduces himself or herself, like, hi, my name is interviewer, your answer should be, my name is Kevin, or my name is, use your nickname. Okay, and then we're gonna talk about this, answering with a non-answer. So when you are asked a question, avoid the following answers. Avoid answering with anything. Avoid answering with up to you. Avoid letting the other person decide, because these answers, especially if you're in an interview, these answers signal to your interviewer that you are not using your brain. These answers signal that you don't use your intelligence, and vague answers are just as bad. So if for example, the interviewer asks you the question, what's your expected salary? And you say, oh, I don't need a big amount of money. Or the opposite. I want to earn a lot of money. Or what are your personal goals? I want to have a huge bank account. I want to buy my dream house. So these answers aren't very good because these answers are vague. So vague answers mean that you are indecisive, lazy, and cannot be trusted. And these are all considered non-answers. So be specific with your answers. So, and also this, avoid giving single word answers. So what are single word answers? So here's an example: yes, no, and other single word answers. So instead, what you should do is you should expand your answers. So here are examples: no, I'm currently looking for work. Yes, I'm previously working in a store. So always answer using complete sentences. So I use this example because this is funny, and this example is funny for me because this is true. So back when I was younger, the teacher asked me, "What's your name?" And I said, "Kevin." And the teacher said, "How old are you?" I said, 12. And then the teacher said, "Where do you live?" I said, "Parañaque." And then the teacher got mad and said, "Kevin, please answer using complete sentences." And then the teacher gave us a lesson that, it should be, "My name is Kevin. I am 12 years old. I live in Parañaque." And there you go. Those are samples of complete sentences. And then during the phone coaching, you will notice that a lot of the grammar errors that we're going to discover will repeat again and again. So if we find any of the errors during the session, it's going to show up. So chances are your mistakes at activity 1 and activity 2 will show up on activity 7 and your final activity. So please shorten and simplify your sentences. You are allowed to write more sentences as long as you write short sentences. So I'm going to share the top errors. So what is a sentence? Part 1. So a sentence is a group of words that express a complete thought. This is the grade 1 explanation on what a sentence is. A sentence is a group of words that express a complete thought. A sentence begins with a capital letter and ends with a punctuation mark. What's a punctuation mark? That's a period, that's a question mark, that's an exclamation point. So capitalization, you understand what I mean. Look at this lesson. Look at all the sentences. All the sentences that I've written down start with a capital letter. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. Punctuation. So look at all the sentences in this lesson. Did you notice that most of the sentences end with a period? So I already talked about that. Ends with a period, ends with a question mark, and I don't think I have a sentence that ends with an exclamation point. But just in case you don't know what an exclamation point is, it's here, this one right here, up here on the upper right of the screen. This is an exclamation point. You use exclamation points when you're angry or when you're trying to get a person's attention. So most of the sentences end with a period. So please do not skip the period. Do not skip the period. If you write a sentence needs to have a period at the end of the sentence. And this is really important if you want to get qualified for higher paying jobs. When you are being screened for high paying jobs, small details like these are important. If you have a sentence that's not a capital letter, if you have a sentence that's missing a period, that is not a sentence. That means that you have poor communication skills according to the recruiter. So make sure that you check your communication for capital letters and periods. So next. What is a sentence? Part 2. A sentence needs to have a subject, a verb, and an object. So the subject is usually a noun, the verb is an action word, and the object is the receiver of the action. I'm going to share that again. A sentence needs to have a subject, a verb, and an object. The subject is usually a noun, the verb is an action word, the object is the receiver of the action. So I'm going to share some incomplete sentences that I encountered. So incomplete sentences are a group of words that do not express a complete thought. Or an incomplete sentence has one or more of the parts of the sentence missing. So sometimes there's no subject, sometimes there's no verb or action word, or sometimes there is no object or receiver of the action. Okay. And before we proceed, I'm just going to do a quick recap. Multi-sentence paragraphs. So please use the one-sentence paragraph format. Read the lesson about one-sentence paragraph format. Add a blank space between the lines. Do not just use double space on your Google document. The space between the lines allow us to see the errors. I also put the correction on the space. And then let's go. So complex sentence to simple sentence. So this is where the incomplete sentence happens. So earlier I taught you to shorten your sentences. So shorten your sentences. Shorten your sentence if you see two or more lines on your computer. So this is an example of two lines, but this doesn't happen very often. This is an example of like just one line, like one sentence line. Shorten your sentence if you see three or more lines on your notebook. So if you're writing on your notebook and you see three lines, like that might be that might be a long sentence. Short sentences typically have 3 to 7 words. Long sentences have 8 or more words. A compound or complex sentence is bad even if the grammar is correct, because compound or complex sentences sometimes work if your English is already perfect. So compound or complex sentences sometimes work if your English is already perfect. So what I'm trying to say here is that you are allowed to use compound or complex sentences every now and then, because these sentences also work. But it's incredibly easy to make a mistake when you are writing or when you're trying to communicate using compound or complex sentences. So consider this problem. You paid for our lessons because your grammar is terrible. So what we're trying to do is simplify the rules. So a professional chef, so I'm going to give this example. A professional chef can plan menus, command staff, shop for tools and ingredients, entertain guests, and do more while preparing a meal. So you're not at a professional level. So I'm teaching you how to boil an egg in this module. You're not allowed to perform demonstrations and exhibitions if you can't boil an egg properly. So I'll give you more challenging work as you progress to higher levels. But for now, while you are doing week 1 and the first few weeks of our lessons, we are going to stick to short, simple sentences. So let's stick to short, simple sentences for now. So this is a common example of the mistakes that I encounter. This is a common example of incomplete sentences that I encounter. So the original sentence is, my hobbies are watching TV, reading books, and going to the gym. So some people will write, I like watching TV, I like reading books, I enjoy going to the gym. Oh, sorry. So this is the correct example. So if you say my hobbies are watching TV, reading books, and going to the gym, I like watching TV, I like reading books, I enjoy going to the gym. Simple sentences are easy to write and read. Simple sentences are also easier to speak and understand. And most importantly, simple sentences are impossible to mess up. Our first goal is that you use simple sentences perfectly. And this is what I was complaining about. Complete your sentences. Please complete your sentences when you shorten your sentences. So I know I said that you should shorten your sentences, but when you shorten your sentences, please complete your sentences. So here's what happens when people shorten their sentences. So this is where I'm going to read the original sentence. I spend my free time writing, cooking, and going to the gym. So this is a real example based on several real students. So I spend, period, my free time, period, writing, period, cooking, period, going to the gym. So this is wrong. This is wrong. This is not how you shorten your sentence, okay? These examples are not complete sentences, okay? So I spend, it's not complete. My free time is not complete. Writing is not complete. Cooking is not complete. Going to the gym is not complete. These are not complete sentences. So I'm going to share the good answer. I spend my free time writing. I spend my free time cooking. I spend my free time going to the gym. So this answer is okay. So I just added the words um, I spend my free time, and then I put writing, and then I spend my free time, and then I put cooking. I spend my free time, and then I put going to the gym. So these answers are okay. You separated the ideas, but you kept the complete sentence. So this is an okay answer. This is a good answer. Now, I'm going to give you an example of a great answer. So what's the difference between a great answer and a good answer? Both are complete sentences, but with a great answer, we're going to add a few changes. I spend my free time writing. I love cooking. I enjoy going to the gym. So in this version, you made some changes. So it's not all the same. In the first version, it's the same. It's all the same. I spend my free time. It's all I spend my free time. In this version, you added some variation. So I will accept this answer. I spend my free time. I do this. Like, even if it sounds repetitive, I will accept this answer. But if you feel that you're ready, add changes. This will make your answer sound more authentic, and this will make your answer sound more professional. So you're allowed to make variation to the words. You can make sentences less repetitive. If you're creative, if you know some words, if you know some alternate words, you can use that to make your sentences sound good. You can also search for synonyms of the words if you're not very creative. So in this example, I did not repeat spend my free time. I used the words love and enjoy, and alternating the words will make your sentence sound less repetitive. So I'm trying to give you as much explanation as possible. So if you had some trouble understanding this lesson, you could just go back and listen to this again. The reason why I'm recording is so we can both save time. You can listen to this on your own time. You don't need me to explain this to you in person. And we're almost at the end. This is one of the lessons I'd like to teach. Avoid opening with the wrong words. So do not open a sentence with because. Connect the sentence with the reason. I want to work in a call center because, and then you add the reason. Actually, do not open your sentence with the word actually. Using the word actually makes your speech sounds like you lie frequently. If you remove the word actually, the meaning of your sentence won't change. So if you say, actually, I arrived late, you can just say, I arrived late, and your sentence will have the same meaning. Honestly, using this word makes your speech sound like you lie frequently, so same reason. Actually and honestly, it doesn't sound good when you're speaking to Americans or native English speakers. So the other reason is if you remove the word honestly, if you remove the word honestly, your sentence is going to sound more honest. And that's a fact. The other thing is, do not open your sentences with and. You should write a new sentence that doesn't require you to begin the sentence with the word and. The same thing with or, but, then, and so. If you remove the word and, if you remove the word or, if you remove the word but, if you remove the word then, if you remove the word so, the sentence usually has the same meaning. So do not open sentences with and, or, but, then, so, and because. If you remove the words above, the sentence will likely have the same meaning. And I will go to the mall will become I will go to the mall, same meaning. Or I will go home will become I will go home, same meaning. But I am not happy becomes I am not happy, same meaning. Then we went to the movies, change it to we went to the movies, same meaning. Because I was writing, same meaning. And yeah, avoid or replace these words. And there's a thing in social media about the word noted. I don't like using the word noted because it's like sending K. All right, it's like sending K via text message. So you could say, instead of saying noted, you could say I understand, or I got you. Just like I got you, I understand. I got your message, or I understand. Because that's what noted means. I understand. That's what noted means. I understand, and it's not that much longer. I know, like if you've seen that viral um, post on Facebook about the word noted, there's a lot of long suggestions. Yeah, um, I understand. I got you. I'll do it. Those are, you don't need the long ones. The long examples in the viral video, you can just say, "I understand. I got you. I'll do it," or whatever, whichever of the three. Do not use "I reside at." Use "I live in" or "I live at." Um, do not answer with K. You say, "Okay, I got you. I understand." Do not say 22 years of age. You say you're 22 years old. And then numbers in a sentence. So if a number begins a sentence, the number should be spelled out. So for example, 20 people were waiting in line, or 5 of us were waiting for the news. So the rule is it's better to spell out numbers less than 101. I follow a list of 100 rules to slowly improve my life. The 5 items in my bag are my phone, wallet, keys, earphones, and water bottle. So the rule, you can use words to spell out large numbers. My page has 40,000 followers. A call center agent earns 20,000 pesos. A freelance writer can earn 60,000 pesos. And then here's another rule. It's better to use numbers for complex number patterns. I have exactly 41,527 likes on my Facebook page. The contract was worth 1,251,030 pesos. So yeah, so if you're writing, you can use numbers for complex number patterns. And then, oh, interesting. There's a link here that leads to the Grammarly blog, when to spell out numbers. I'll put a link in the description below. Active and passive voice. We use active voice in the call center 99% of the time. Or we use active voice in the business setting 99% of the time. We use passive voice to soften a potentially offensive statement. I'll give you the definition and some examples. So the active voice, the sentence is in the active voice when the subject is the doer of the action. So I wrote my ideas in my notebook. I did the work. These are examples of active voice. The sentence is in the passive voice when the subject is the receiver of the action. So look at this example above. I wrote my ideas in my notebook, active voice. Passive voice is the ideas in the notebook were written by me. So this is the passive voice, and it sounds a little awkward and it has more words. And that's the main reason why we use the active voice. So I did the work. Active voice, the work was done by me. Passive voice. So yeah, like we use active. The active voice is the preferred voice when you were speaking. So when do you use the active voice? I recommend using the active voice most of the time. I recommend using the active voice, or I recommend using active voice most of the time. The sentences are more direct and easy to write. So yeah. When to use the passive voice? The passive voice is used 1% of the time. So we can't give you a refund is an active voice statement. This is a passive voice statement. Unfortunately, the company does not process refunds at this time. So this is a passive version of the same sentence. So this part is a little tricky. And I recommend that you search for more examples of active and passive voice on Google. Anyway, you don't need to worry about that because I will be giving you a separate lesson on positive phrasing. Anyway, that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you have questions, as always, send me an email and I'll do my best to answer once I'm logged in. I'll talk to you soon and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.